All right, what's up, you sexy motherfuckers? We are going to present to you this next week of training. This is going to be week 3. We got our boy, TJ.
What's up, gang?
In the house. I got the sleeves on. He's rolling sleeveless, but I am going legless. So what we're going to do first to start this off is we're going to do a little bit of a recap of the whole cycle. I think it's like 12 weeks technically, but this whole build cycle that we're in right now. And this is just a little bit of a piggyback off of one of the last videos I made where I did a full breakdown of the whole thing. And really the main reason is because the timeline's just a little different. Originally, the idea was to have our Evolution Finals competition the last week of September, but just kind of how our schedules and things are aligning, it's actually going to be like that first weekend of October. So that's going to shift the timeline out a week. So what we need to do is just kind of recap and just make sure all of our numbers align. And we want to show you the process too, because one, you can kind of get a refresher of the big picture. And then two, it'll show you our process of, when we have to make these different modifications, kind of our thinking and how we go about doing that. All right, so we'll go through this one quickly and then we will dive into week 3. So here, I'll just kind of take the wheel on this and then I'll let you take the wheel when we get to the program.
Perfect.
So get you some markers. Yeah, all right, so we are year 4. Q3, okay? And the average for this cycle as a whole is 3, 2, 5. 3 volume, 2 density, 5 intensity. So obviously we are in a peak year, which again is like why, because some people have been asking like, are we ever gonna do these different exercises again? Or why is it looking very specific to Olympic lifting right now? And the big reason for that is, we are in an Olympic year. So it's like the focus is peak performance in the Olympic lifts, okay? And we are in a build quarter of the peak year, okay? And so let's see the timeline. We started this. I need to pull up my calendar here real quick. So week 1 last week was July 8th. So let's just break this down. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 weeks, okay? So this is a 13-week cycle. So let's see if we can break this down. 1, that's fine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay? 13 weeks. And the week that we want to peak on is the same process that we go through when we do the week of the training. The week that we want to peak on is going to be this. And this is going to be the week of the Evolution Finals. And since I got my calendar right here, that is going to be 10-5. So just so you know, so mark it in your calendars. Look, we're doing really a much better job this time. We're giving you a whole 12 weeks of notice instead of 2. How do you like that? 10-5, mark your calendars, Evolution Finals. And it's one of those things too, y'all. I know not everybody may not have like the aspiration to really be competitive, but either way, if you're on this program, like you're going to be testing and maximizing your, whatever your performance level is at during this week. So it's like, you might as well just do the competition. But, again, I get it if you don't, but you might as well.
And to piggyback off on that, everyone as well, as you can see, it's a whole process. Like what we're doing now, which we'll get into here in a second with this next week, is we are like, it's pretty much a reload. You're reloading to build up what Nate was saying. Even if like you don't have like super competitive aspirations as a weightlifter, you will at bare minimum see what going through an entire kind of like mini cycle is like, and like, kind of like get that experience of like, prepping, building, and then peaking, you know what I mean? And then hopefully get some experience competing if you do compete. So ultimately, either way, whether you want to continue to compete or not, like you can see kind of what that process looks like. And so you'll know, okay, like I kind of know what to expect going to the next time, you know what I mean? So it's a good experience, everyone. Again, like having done obviously multiple competitions, myself, even though I'm not necessarily competing at the moment, like it's great. It's great to have gotten that experience to kind of like see your hard work come to fruition, whether it's on a max out day. In a competition, honestly, it feels even better because you're doing it in front of people. Like you're doing it in front of like probably your friends and family, right? And then you can like, all those hours you spent, all those reps you did meant something, right? And again, like it just can build your confidence and hopefully have some carryover to whatever you're doing next. So just keep those things in mind.
Yeah. To be honest, I've never worked with any athlete that did their first competition and was like, I never want to do that again. That was horrible. Right. It's always been like, damn, that was really fun. When's the next one? All right? Sure. You never know until you try. But I mean, hell, if you're in this, if you've gone this far, then you're right in line, and we're just the river's going to the ocean, y'all. Just follow the river. Okay. So the big difference when we first did this, it was 12 weeks, so it kind of worked out evenly that each of the phases was 4 weeks. You know what? I actually think maybe I did do this right. Hold on here. Let me recount so we don't have to mess this all up. So that's week 1, July 8th, 15, 22, 29, and this is 5, 12, 19, 26, 2, 9, 16, 23, 30. Okay. Well, I guess maybe I did do this right. So, this is all kind of pointless now. But what we're going to do, just so you can get a reference of the big picture again, is we'll just break it down again. Well, I take that back because I had week 13 as the rest week. So, you know what? This is right. So, what that actually means is there is going to be a week 14, which is going to be the rest week. Okay, now we're back on track here. So like you said, like you can kind of see like the process that we go through when building all this out. So what that means then, and so when we first did this, it kind of worked out to have it even 4 weeks for the prep and the build and the peak. But now that there's an extra week, it's going to shift the timeline a little bit. So we have to decide, essentially one of these phases is going to be 5 weeks long. And so we need to decide which one of those phases do we want to make 5 weeks long. And my initial thinking, and I'm curious to hear your thinking, is because it is a build quarter, then we can put some extra emphasis on the build phase of the build quarter. How does that sound?
Makes sense.
Okay. So with that being said, so the prep will be the same. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 prep. And then the build then is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and this is build. And then the peak is going to be the same 4 weeks. And so, with that line of thinking, if we were in a prep quarter and we had the same situation, then we would likely extend out the prep phase. Or if we were in a peak, we would likely extend out the peak phase. And again, like the cool thing, at least what I think with this whole system, is that there's kind of this underlying structure, and then when we get to this kind of stuff, that's when just the art of it comes in, and you can like just rely on your experience, rely on your just intuition, your coaching intuition, to be like, okay, what makes most sense here? Because I probably said it before, and I'll say it many times again, but even the highest level coaches in the world and like the best programs, there's always going to be some kind of element of educated guessing. And my goal with all this is to minimize that so we can really specify, no, this is what we got to do, and there can really be some clear direction, but there's still an element of you got to fuck around and find out. And that's the fun. All right, and then week 14, just so you already know, This is rest week. So look, and the cool thing, once you know this, you can also align your, and I talked about this in the last video, so I won't get too deep into it, but you can align your life and your work schedule to be relatively in line with your training schedule. So it's like, especially when it comes to the rest, if we know we're gonna have a rest week here, I hope that's very loud on the
Probably so.
If we're gonna have a rest week here, then like, yo, if you want to take a little fall vacation, which I am very much planning to do, this is the week to do it. If you want to, make some plans to do something outside of training, work related, this is the time to do it. And you can see it just aligns perfectly. And the same thing, even when we get to the week to week, because you'll have like deload weeks. And so, like for me, one of my intentions, kind of moving forward now that I built this system out, is having like every single month, once a month, having some kind of, for me, I like to go camping and I like to be out in nature. So what Taylor and I are doing is like once a month, we're going on a little camping trip. Sometimes it is just like, a day, like just one night, but on the rest week, it might be a multiple day thing. But that's like on the rest week, on each of the phases, that's another opportunity to do something like that if you wanted to, okay? So now we got to break down the averages for each of these phases within the cycle. So remember, the build is the average. So that's going to be a 3, 2, 5. And then prep, we go up, up, down. So that's going to be 4, 3, 4. And then peak is going to be down, down, up. So that's going to be 2, 1, 5, because you can't go above 5. And then rest is going to be down, down, down 2 from the average. So that's going to be a 1, 1, 3. 1, 3. Okay? And then so we'll break down the prep phase first. So this one's actually the same. So I'm just going to copy and paste here. So that's a 2, 1, 2. We've already done that week. This is our current week, a 5, 4, 3. The next week is going to be 4, 3, 4. This is the week that we're going to be heading into. And then you've got, and this is like a rest. This is prep. So we're going to be going into a build week of the prep phase of the build cycle of the peak year. How's that for confusing as fuck? You'll get it. You'll get it. Okay. And then we'll do 3, 2, 5 for the peak week. And then we're going to rest again. So now this is where things are going to change a little bit. So we've got 5 weeks here, and we've got 4 different elements. So the way that breaks down is going to be a little different. So we kind of got to like think this through a little bit. So for sure, we're going to have a rest week. So that'll be the down, down, down. So that'll be, so let's just write this just so we got some reference. So that'll be a 1, 1, 3. Okay. And this is a build phase. So what we probably want to do is, again, emphasize the build aspect of it. So I have, last cycle we had a similar situation, and what I ended up doing was, so we'll do a normal prep week here. So that'll be a 4, 3, 4, because remember we're going to go up, up, down. So 4, 4, 3, 4 on the prep week, and then what we'll kind of do is we'll do like a prep build, and then we'll do like a build peak, and then we'll do a strict peak.
Right.
So let's just write that down. We'll do prep, build, and then we'll do a build peak, and then we'll go peak. So let's see what that'll look like. So if we're gonna have a prep build, so normally the build would be the average, but we're gonna have still an element of the prep in there. And the average is 3, 2, 5. So, kind of open this up. So what I would initially think, instead of going like both of these numbers up, we can just make one of the numbers go up. So we could either go up on the volume, or we could go up on the density. What would you, again, it's kind of like, right. Either way is going to be fine, but what do you think?
Right. I would say emphasizing the build and trying to maintain that Within the build, I would say probably increasing the density then, in my mind. Because if you're trying to bridge the gap between the prep build and the build peak, right, the carryover is going to be the density. That's the one that, like, the one that stays in the middle of those. So I would say density should be the one.
So keep the volume the same.
Yeah.
We'll go up on the density, or essentially carry over the density.
Yeah.
And then we'll go up on the intensity to match the build. So then the build peak then. So let's just do the peak just so we know what the peak is, and then maybe we can find like a middle ground here. So the peak itself would be down, up. It's already at a 5, so this would be a 2, 1, 5. And so let's see how we can bridge the gap here. If the average is a 3.25, which we could just do 3.25, or we could do
2.25.
2.25. Okay, I like that. So let's do that. So we'll do a 2, 2, 5. So essentially we're going from a 4.34, and then we'll go from, so we'll keep the density, decrease the volume, increase the intensity, and then going into the build peak, we'll decrease the volume and the density. Intensity stays the same, so that we'll start going down, but not all the way down, and then the peak will go all the way down. Is what it seems like. Cool.
And you can see that it's a very clear like decline in volume, right? While the intensity begins to build, which is essentially the grounding of any like programming. You're going to go from ultimately high volume, lower-ish intensity to where those are flip-flopped, or more of a middle ground, and then, because by the time you're testing, essentially, like, you're going to peak is that it's lower volume, higher intensity anyway, so that's kind of like a very clear, because then like right in the middle of the build, you're doing like densities too, so doing like heavy doubles, which is still a very like pretty solid, that's pretty taxing on you, like a heavy double snatch, or heavy double clean jerk is still going to be pretty exhausting by the time you get to the peak, but you'll be like primed up and ready to go.
Ready to roll. Perfect. And then the peak will be easy because it's 4. So we'll just copy and paste that. So that'll be a 3.25 or 3.24 because we're going to go up, up, down for the prep. And then this, or actually,
I was going to say rest first, right?
You're right. That's going to be a rest, which will be I skipped it on here. It's a 1.13.
Yep.
1.13. And then we'll go 3, 2, 4 for the prep, and then we'll go 2.15 for the build, and then this will just be a 1.15. So this is, it's like competition. You max out and you're done.
Game day.
Okay, and then rest we already know. 1.13. All right. So yeah, we'll leave that at that. Again, if you want like a deeper explanation, I literally did a fucking 1.5-hour video breaking down the whole shit, what the numbers mean, how I came up with them, all that shit. So all the questions that I've been getting over and over again, go watch the videos. All right? And like, to be honest, one of the selfish reasons for a lot of these videos is because after a while, doing this for 10 years, you get asked the same questions over and over and over and over again to the point where it's like, this is where it's at, y'all. Watch the fucking videos. All right, I'm going to take a picture of this. So we have for our records here. Y'all can take a picture too. Oh, look, we're going to take a picture together. There we go. That's how we're going to do this. All right, y'all can get a picture of that if you want. Boom. Okay, so we're going to erase this now. Go ahead, do the honors. And then old Coach TJ is going to take over, and we are going to build week 3.
Yeah.
Which we already know is a 4.34.
4.34.
Oh, baby.
So I can keep this.
You can, no, because that's the average for the quarter.
Oh,
You
gotcha.
just erase all of it. I'll switch sides here.
So we can get ready to transition. Hope you guys are doing well, right? This is, obviously, we're coaching you, and this is very specifically about the training, but I hope life's going well for you. I hope that all your personal things, even as Nate was saying, planning your life schedule around your training is important, because what you got to do is you got to make sure it all fits together, right? If you're like sacrificing everything at home and your relationships to get to the gym, like, well, it's not really balanced. And if you're sacrificing your gym time to get all the other stuff done, it's also not balanced. It's kind of like making sure that like your mind's good and your body's good and your heart's good, right? Relationships are strong, all that. So as we get ready to transition, I hope you guys are doing well. Love you guys.
Yes.
All right. Switch gears. Let's go dark purple.
Oh yeah, we got colors.
Oh, we got plenty of colors. All right. So year 4.
I guess you could have kept that part, but
Yeah, so I was like, it's cool. Q3, right?
yeah. Q3.
Q3. And then just the...
And then this would be,
build.
yep. Well, this will be week 3.
Okay,
That's,
week
3. Yeah, you're
I
right.
left out. That's what I was asking you about.
Don't worry, we're all confused. Perfect.
Q3.
All right. So just as a refresher here, well, I'm going to ask you, so what's year 4? Prep, build, rest, peak. What's Q3? It's summer. We're building right now. Okay, and then week 3 is what we just went over, that we're in the prep phase of this build cycle. And this is actually going to be a build week. All right?
Perfect.
Cool. Let's go for
And
them.
say
And then the average is the 4-3-4.
build average is 4, 3, 4.
Cool. All right. So we'll lay out the week.
Just because I feel like switching colors because you got so many colors.
I know. It just invites you to,
It's
to choose
it's
differently.
so inviting.
And it is nice, like when you watch it back, because it's not just one
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You kind of differentiate what's going
100%.
on.
That's why I'm really big on the color differentiation. 2.
I remember last time we got a little crunch. So I mean,
crunch. We're gonna space it out a little
you
more.
do
this time.
you, bro. But just
We got so crunched.
JS, bro.
Hey, I thought I did a pretty good job.
No, you did
last
great,
time.
bro.
But we can space it out a little bit more, though. I do agree with that. Go 2, and then we'll go 3, and then we'll go 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. These numbers are not in line, but it's okay.
Whatevs. Fuck 'em. All right. And then, so we need to firstly, what's step 1 here?
Step 1 is we have to create the, so as you guys know, there's 3, 4, and 5-day templates. All right, so the baseline is creating those 3, right? The main, because if you do the 3 days, for example, you have those 3 most important elements of the program, right? Which we already know. Most important one is the test.
Test.
Right? So we know that is going to be day 6. It's been day 6 for us, which is Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday. So we'll circle it
Max out Saturday.
and we'll test. Boop.
Ooh, I don't think I've used that one before. That's
Yeah,
nice.
I like it. It kind of pops.
Nice. There you go.
All right, because the test overall, as we've explained and Nate's put it in several videos now, test is the most important metric of all, because if you did nothing else, and it doesn't have to just be weightlifting either. It could be powerlifting, it could be whatever, but you doing it, doing the snatch, doing the clean and jerk are going to be those things that even if you just did them, you would get better at it. You would see progress by just doing the movements alone. So that's the most important thing. The other 2 key important elements, where again we're going to make that very bare bones, the very minimal 3-day program. The next most important one is weakness. Right, that's going to be typically we've been doing that day 1, so on Mondays. So we'll get that labeled as weakness. I'll actually put it on top.
Yeah, and just to throw in there, like when you're doing the 3-day template, usually we end up
I've been doing it
switching the test day to Friday, just to kind of like do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But on the 4 and the 5-day template, the test day is on the Saturday.
Weakness.
So weakness on day 1.
Cool. And then the third element, third key, and that and the cog is strength, right? Because again, if you're testing, focusing on weaknesses, all right, and then focusing on strength, those things together are going to again give you a very solid, consistent progression, and then we build everything out from there. So that's been our 3rd day of the week so far. Wednesday, will be our strength. Focus. All right. So now at this point, okay.
Yeah.
Do we want to move the test to Friday? I see what you're saying.
Well, we do the 5-day template because then once you do the 5-day template, the 4-day and the 3-day are very simple because you're just like subtracting the days that aren't as important in regards to the that fancy term that I called the specificity prioritization. They're lower down on the list. But usually, and again, like you don't have to do them this way every single time, but usually like once you figure out the test day, then just like we did when we did the 12-week cycle, you know where you want the peak to be.
That's the step.
So now,
that's the step that I skipped. Whoops. All right, so let's do that first. Kids, he was testing me a little bit there.
There's a lot of right answers in this game.
But this part, we had to do this part anyway. Yeah, so exactly. We got that done. So now the next part, yes, is breaking up the week. Yes, I agree. Which again, it's kind of like peanut butter and jelly. It doesn't matter which one you put on the sandwich first. You got to put them both on there.
And it's still going to be good as fuck, y'all.
It's still going to be good. So that first day has typically been our prep day.
I don't know about y'all, but I like my PBJs when there's the middle. Like, you can't even put the things together because it's all just oozing out. And, like, you can't even eat it because there's just barely any bread. And it's just so much peanut butter and so much jelly. When I was, like, really on a fucking budget, that was one of my staples because you get a loaf of bread, you get a jar of peanut butter, you get a jar of jelly, and like cheap. Literally, because I used to track all my calories and everything, and it was at least 500 calories I could put down just in one sandwich.
That's crazy.
And I would do like 3 PBJs a day, so it's already like 1,500 calories, and then with each one of the PBJs, I drink damn near like a quart of milk. So I'd almost go through a gallon of milk a day. And like just that alone, I think I did that. And then I think I would have like, I'd cook a dozen eggs with like a pack of chicken thighs and some rice. And that was my like bare bones, like we just gotta fucking eat. And again, like.
That's balling on a budget, but like that's like those are, maybe that's what's peanut butter and jelly, but like eggs and chicken and rice, like that's pretty decently like good food. Like, you know what I mean? Like in terms of like, getting that protein, you know what I mean? If you got a ball on a budget, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do it. And that's one of the things, and this is a little side note, but like, I guess I don't really have many pet peeves. I'm just like, whatever, bro, you do you. But if there was one pet peeve, and I think partly just from my own personal experience of just like all the shit that I've had to go through, like just being broke as fuck and like, working different jobs and like feeling like I didn't have any time and, but ultimately still having that desire of like, no, we have to fucking figure this out because it's like, this is what I'm here to do. And then you fucking figure it out. So that's when, when people tell me like, I don't have this or I can't do that or I don't have that. Like, yes, compassion, understanding, I get it. And at the same time, like, if you really fucking want it, like if somebody was holding you underwater and you couldn't breathe, imagine how hard you're going to fight to try to fucking breathe. And when you want this that bad, you figure it out. That's my spiel. Continue.
So, moral story, you got one as bad as you want to breathe, everyone. You got one as badly as you want to breathe. All right, so first day's prep, take the number. Average is 434. With the prep, we go up, up, down. All right, so the volume and density increase, the intensity decreases. So we're going to go to a 5. 4, 3.
Ooh, that's a big day, baby.
That is that's a big day.
You thought this week was tough.
The next block of days we've assigned typically to our build. So we'll go build next for the next couple days. Boop. And build is the average. So it's going to be that 434. Oops.
Yep,
got a little anxious. Cool. Next, we'll go into the peak, which is the next 3 days combined. Boop, boop, boop. Peak, peak. We know that peak, we go down, down, up. So that'll take us to a 3, 2, 5.
Ooh, baby. All right.
That is also a little spicy.
Just right back in there.
Right back in the blender. And the last day of the week, we assign to rest. which if you're going to do anything, don't necessarily recommend it, but if you're going to do anything, it's going to be down, 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 2, so that would be 8.
All right, well, the recording stopped, so maybe you missed a couple things, but we're right on track here. So rest is the down, down, down 2.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to add, because I've been getting a couple questions with this. So when you look at the bigger cycle, and you remember we had the prep phase and the build and all those things, and currently we are in the prep phase. So even on these heavier days, so even like when you're on your test day or you're in a heavy strength day and you kind of got the higher intensity, you can still kind of keep in mind like we're currently in a prep phase, even though we might have different peaks and valleys within the prep phase. It's still a prep phase. And so with that being said, because I've been getting questions like, should I be wearing a belt this week? Should I do my knee sleeves? Like, kind of all the things that you would maybe normally do if you were like a full on peak competition mode, like meet prep mode. Because we're in a prep phase, it's a good time to kind of let your body perform naturally. Like a lot of times that's what I like to do. So like I won't wear a belt purposely. I won't like put my knee sleeves or, I won't kind of add any of those extra things that tend to help me when I'm really pushing it, just to kind of give my body, because, it becomes very easy to become reliant on those things. But we want to kind of strengthen everything naturally a little bit when we have these opportunities. And so that's where we're at right now. Like I would say in this build phase, being the third week of this cycle, I would still say even on these heavier days, like don't worry about the belt. Like don't worry about the extra stuff. Next week, and we'll get to next week when we get to next week, but I would even say next week probably would be the same thing, even though it is a peak week. But then once we get into the build phase, that's when I would say like, all right, start strapping up, and like, because we're really going to then start pushing the numbers again. Okay. The other note with that too, because you're changing these little variables, don't necessarily worry about, and that's for me at least, like the beauty of why I love kind of this number system, is because you don't have to worry so much about the weights day to day, especially where we're at right now. We're in a prep phase. So it's just a lot of reps, a lot of volume, like more technique emphasis. So just having that intention going in, we're like, yeah, obviously if it's a 4 or it's a 5, like I'm going to push myself, but I'm not necessarily worried about like, oh, I got to hit a new PR every time, or I got to do better and better and better. Because you're still getting the stimulus, so that by the time we do get to that peak phase, by the time you do get to the competition, that's when we're ready. Like your body has prepared itself, physically and mentally and emotionally to be able to like, no, okay, now we're really like targeting the numbers and really pushing the numbers. I mean, hell, if it happens that you end up hitting a PR just because it feels good and you just keep going up, like that's beautiful, but that's not necessarily the emphasis right now. So I just wanted to add that in there.
That's perfect. And it kind of goes to what we talked about last week about laying the foundation, right? Like you're not going to put hundreds, thousands of pounds of, of a building on a foundation that's not set. You got to get your body ready for that. If you start to put that load on yourself, too soon, too early, then again, your body, that's when some avoidable injuries might come into play, some overuse, some imbalances, right? Doing it this way, preparing slowly, right? Not focusing on, like you said, the weight now, but preparing your body to withstand that pressure. Then as the weeks go, then you'll be stronger, your body will be more durable, you'll have higher resistance to fatigue, higher, just durability overall. So trust it, please, we know it's a little, we get to test day, everybody wants to get the PR, and that's great. If it feels good, we'll probably never keep you from pushing it if things feel good, if your form looks good, if you're kind of flowing. But trust us, take our word for it. We're trying to protect you guys. Want you all to, and overall, look at the bigger picture. What is a 1 kilo PR today versus potentially 3 or 4 or 5 kilo jump in a couple of weeks if you're willing to be patient. So it's a patience game. Just got to take it one day at a time.
Yes. All right.
Cool.
Okay, so we've got the kind of the different little mini phases of the week laid out. So now we can finish the days and then assign the numbers to each one of the days so we have our daily averages.
Right. So we have the 3 main ingredients. Got the test, got the weakness, and got the strength. The next, if we're going, so this is the 3-day template. So then if we were doing a 4-day template, that day that we would add, oh, actually, this is also, I'm going to put a rest here because we also typically rest on that day also.
Yeah, and that's like with the 5-day template, and I think we mentioned before, but if we were to do like a 6-day template, then this would be that 6th day, which would be just essentially an extra technique day.
Yep, 2, 1, 2. So the next one after that is, don't tell me, I know what it is. Accessory. Let's
go. He's getting it. The man's getting it.
Accessory. So we'll put ack right here. Cool.
Hit him with the ack.
Yep. So that's the 4-day. Then that 5th day is gonna be technique. Specific.
There it is.
Woo-hoo-hoo. You almost caught me.
Yep. A little repetition. We're getting it.
Specific. Cool.
Got it. And then obviously day 7 is just rest.
Yeah. So we're good there.
That extra rest.
Big rest. Yeah, like, hey, look, if for whatever reason you didn't rest today and you did just want to move, do something, like, you better, like, be, like, super duper resting. And rest, obviously, I mean, go outside, go for a walk, whatever. You don't have to sit on your couch and sleep all day. But honor your body. Like, more is not always better. Trust me, we've done the more. We've done the training. And myself even, like, just feel like I got to do something. But, like, your body has to recover. You're putting all the stress on it. Your body can only adapt to the time it has to recover. Like, if you don't recover, you're not getting better. That's just what it is. Like, we can give you the best program in the world, the best, like, rest periods, the best, like, number schemes, all that. If you're not recovering, you are not getting better. That is just objective as it goes. The best athletes, Olympians, you all should watch the Olympics this year. Get a taste for what you potentially could, aspire to one day if you do it right. But those athletes at the highest level of the game are recovering, and they're recovering well. They have very solid recovery plans in place. So please honor your body, honor your recovery days, please.
And even in my experience, a lot of those elite athletes are still overtraining. Because again, it's very easy, especially with something like Olympic lifting where it's so technical and you just, like a golf swing, you just want to practice over and over and over and over and over again. But just remember, like, you don't get stronger in the gym. The gym creates the stimulus. Training creates the stimulus. You get stronger in bed. You get stronger, fueling yourself with good food, drinking good water, walking out in nature, getting some sunlight. That's the recovery. And that's the yin and the yang. That's the balance. All right. So we got our days. So now we need to
get into it.
Assign the days. Yep.
What's up, blue? Oops. All right. So, we mean assign the days.
Well, just the numbers, which you kind of end up doing anyway once you get there. But
true. Yeah, perfect. All right. So prep, we only have one, so it's going to be the same. It's going to be that 5, 4, 3.
5, 4, 3.
Build, it's 2 different days, right? So what we can do is treat one of them kind of like prep and one of them like the actual build. All right, which one you thinking specifics going to be?
Yeah, so again, because we're in a build phase right now, so we can kind of emphasize the build. Okay. So what I've kind of been doing, what we did last week, is just make this day 2 the average. Okay. So that'd be the 4, 3, 4.
Okay.
And then the strength will be kind of like build peak. So the strength will treat it like a peak in the sense that,
up.
Yep.
Okay. So then we'll go 3, 2.
There we go. Nice heavy day.
5. That's. In strength days, especially at this point, they're going to be a little heavy, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. As you get closer, maybe a little, but it's you can't avoid it. You can't avoid the hard work, the heavy squats, the heavy, the presses. Like, if you want to get better at weightlifting, we're gonna have to do some heavy stuff. Sorry.
If you want to be a strong motherfucker, you got to lift some motherfucking weight.
Absolutely.
It's a little CT Fletcher channel.
Peek it out. How do we do the numbers for the accessory?
So the accessory we kind of treat as like prep. Because again, you're just thinking, like, we don't want to go necessarily heavy on this, but it's accessory, so up, down.
Gotcha.
And that's, I think you went a little too far up.
Oh, whoops.
Because that's 3, 2, 5.
I'm looking at the big number.
Bro.
Thanks, G. So you said, so it should go from here, so it should be
4, 3, 4.
Gotcha, cool.
Yep. And then the test would be the peak of the peak.
Yeah, so that's 115.
Be just down 1.
Oh, well, 1. Okay, 215.
There you go.
Gotcha.
215. Cool. So we got our days laid out here. And obviously this rest will just be the 212 again. So now we know, just going through these numbers, so we know like the average for each of the day, and we know how many exercise blocks we're gonna have in each day. So we'll start with day 1 now. So we've got 5 exercise blocks. And so let me pull up last week so that we can, because a lot of it will be relatively the same. Because again, you know, it's helpful to have that consistency. So let's see here, all photos.
Might as well use another color.
There it is. All right, so here we go, week 2. So that was a weakness day. Last week was a 5.52. Now we're at a 5.43. So a little less volume, a little higher intensity than last week. So we did a tech, weakness, strength, accessory as the exercise block. So we can probably just keep that same format.
And I'm gonna change it up.
Yeah, go for it.
Because that, just to save some space, ultimately, instead of like writing out, right, the whole word, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put T for technique.
I like it.
And then we'll do a little here, and then we'll do the exercise next to it.
Bro, that's some big brain shit.
Bro, just, you know what, writing, it was
He's a genius.
Yeah, so we said T.
Yep.
And then what we do next?
So it'd be T dub dub SA.
We'll give a little bit of space though. T dub.
Look at that. 2 dubs on a Monday? What do you want?
S A. Cool.
All right. And then the numbers for each of those blocks, which, you know, just like last week, we just keep it super simple and just run it all the way down.
Cool. So let's run them all. 5, 4, 3. Let's have a shepherd. 3.
There we are. All right. So question is, and this one, you know, you can go either way. Do we want to just go ahead and like just do each day and then go on to the next?
Just do each day.
Okay.
I got a feeling.
So again, I think we can keep things kind of the same as last week. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Do you agree? Last week, technique wise, we did snatch balance. So I mean, honestly, I think you would just keep that again.
Yep. See progression.
So same exercise, but now instead of last week we did 5 sets of 5 out of 2. This week we'll do the 5 sets of 4 out of 3. So a little, slightly less reps, a little heavier weight now.
Cool.
And then the next thing we did a high block power snatch. Let me see. I'd honestly, because 4 reps is still a lot. So trying to do a full snatch, I mean, that's going to, especially if you're on the 5-day program, that's probably going to tax you a little bit.
It's going to do you a little bit.
Because, you know, you still got 3 more exercises for the day. So let's keep the same thing. So high block power snatch. And be 5 sets of 4 out of 3 again.
5 by 4 at 3.
Cool. And then the second weakness, the push press. Just roll with that again. Same shit. So you can see too, like we can still have that consistency, like how we used to do with the, you know, when we typically did just the 4-day cycles. But you can see how everything is still, you know, in the strength training community, they call it like undulating. How things are still kind of, you know, changing week to week, even though we're having that consistency in the exercise. So ideally, this is where you look back at last week, and ideally you should be able to improve on all these numbers. Because one, you're trying harder, you're going heavier, and there's less reps. So the strength exercise, we did the back squat. Roll with that again. Sure, we're good on the time. Boom, boom. And then accessories. So last week we did 3. So we did a pull-up, dumbbell RDL, and upright row. These,
you can, accessories, you can adjust. Here's what I was saying. Even you can do the exact same movements, or you can do similar movements. I think my opinion, of course, we can figure it out, but like I think the fundamental kind of like the key movements that you do during the workout should stay pretty much the same, minimal variability. But the accessories, if they're similar, like, so for example, like pull up, you could do it at pull down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to mimic the same motions or similar like muscle groups, but a little bit of variability in those is okay. But
Yeah.
or
Well,
even empowering them, like, hey, yo, bro, you can do a pull up, or you can do a pull down, you can do I think this is where we get a little bit more freedom, is what I would say.
Yeah. I think what we could do, again, just to keep it simple, is like do the same exercises, but then again, knowing you have that freedom. Although I will say, and I will add that like there's a principle in strength training. It's called SAID. It's SAID. It stands for specific adaptations to imposed demands, which again is the whole concept behind the test, meaning you get better at exactly what you do. And that's where, again, you could do the lat pull downs all day, and your lats will get stronger, but that may not necessarily carry over to the pull up, even though it is a very similar movement. And at the same time, with that being said, if you want to swap out one for the other, it's really not that big of a deal. But let's just keep it simple. So we did pull-ups, dumbbell RDLs, upright row. So at the very least, you still give people a chance to improve upon what they did last week. And I know pull-ups is a big one for a lot of people, to be able to kind of knock those out. A lot of people have that kind of goal.
You said kettlebell upright row?
It's
just upright row.
Just upright row. And again, you can do it with a kettlebell, you can do it with dumbbells. I personally like to use the easy bar, that little squiggly bars that we have at the gym, or that most people have, and do it like that. You'll hold the inside squiggles. All right, and so we got 3 exercises. It's a 5 thing. So each additional exercise, we go down a set as just a general rule. So we'll have 3 sets. Last week was out of 5, and we did 12 reps. This week is out of 4, which the rep range for a 4 is a tricky one.
I don't.
Okay, the rep range for a 4 would be 8 to 12.
That's what I was. If I had to guess, that's what I was gonna say. So 3 by 8 to 12.
I would just do 10. Give them a specific number. We'll just meet in the middle there.
That's fair, brother.
So 3 by 10. So a little less reps than last time. And it's a little higher, it's at a 3. A little higher intensity. Cool. So you'll do a nice superset there. All right, perfect.
So much better than last week.
Yeah, we're getting it. So now let's go to day 2 now, specific day. So this is going to be a little different because last week was a 5-4-3, but this week's a 4-3-4. So now it's going to be down an exercise. So last week we did tech, specific, weakness, accessory. So I think we can still do the technique. We'll do tech, and then obviously specific. And then, and all the numbers will just keep the same as far as the average goes. And you might maybe for specific do SP, because we'll have strength.
That's fair. Good call.
And then, okay, so force, let's see, we just did weakness, strength. We did accessory, we're on a build week. So basically what we got to decide is, do we want to do like some kind of accessory, or do we want to do some kind of strength or weakness move? And I guess just, my intuition just goes to strength.
I don't disagree. Strength is always...
Because this is going to be a little less, like there's less on this day, so we can kind of add in another strength that'll be dissimilar enough from what we do here. Yeah. Cool. So that'd be ST.
Oh, ST or just S? We'll just go with it. Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever.
ST is fine.
Okay. So each one of these we'll just run it down. So 4-3-4. By the way, I know these are long videos for a lot of people, and like me personally, most of the YouTube videos that I watch, I don't watch, I listen to them, and that's kind of why I like to talk everything through as we're going through it, because that way, even if you're just listening to this, you can still kind of get the general feel. And then obviously, pop open the phone. Just a quick little concept that I learned from Tony Robbins that's been huge for me is he calls it net time. So it's no extra time. So it's basically like, so many people say, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to like sit down and watch an hour-long video. Like, me neither, bro. But what I do is like, are you doing the dishes? Are you folding laundry? Are you mowing the grass? Are you going for a walk? Like, are you driving your car? What other things are you already having to do anyways that are mundane enough to where you can listen or engage in this while you're doing the other thing? And that's for me, like, I used to hate doing the dishes. But what I did, because I knew it was just something that had to be done, and I've been, just putting off fixing the dishwasher. And honestly, now I like doing the dishes because I've turned it into my study time. So like when I'm doing the dishes, now it's like I'm listening. I'm like watching a video, I'm listening to something, like I'm learning, I'm studying. So just a little concept to throw out there. NET, no extra time. All right, so let's run this down. So technique, so we did the power clean with the pause. I think we can run, like, that's a good one for people. So let's just run that back. So power clean with pause, below knee and above the knee. And that's 4x3 out of 4. Cool, and we'll do just call it a 3-second pause at each of those positions. Okay? And then specific, obviously we're just gonna do snatch, clean, and jerk. Remember, like, specific is specifically what you're testing. So if your test wasn't snatch and clean and jerk, then your specific would be different. If we're testing, let's say we're testing, like you're doing a powerlifting cycle and you're testing squat, bench, deadlift, then your specific day would be squat, bench, deadlift. And then, all right, and then we got strength. So we've already done a back squat. We've already done some push presses. So we already done a squat move, and I'd imagine we're gonna do a front squat over here, and maybe so front squat, and then maybe some kind of deadlift, some kind of pull. So maybe, and we just did snatch, we did clean and jerk, we already did power clean. We'll probably do jerks again here like we did on day 3 last week. So that means that this could be a, honestly what it just pops in my head is like doing just weighted forward lunges.
Fair enough. Would you call that an accessory or a strength movement?
I think honestly, it could be either or. But I think with that intention of it, we're doing a 4 intensity.
Gotcha.
It can be more of that strength movement, just more like unilateral strength.
Gotcha.
Oops. And again, just kind of another example of like, just like you'll see kind of on day 3, where jerk is actually a technique movement, and jerk could be a weakness. So again, like, you don't have to get so tied down to the specific phrases. With that being said, which again will likely be next week, is my goal to kind of roll this out. When we roll out this whole spreadsheet thing, you'll have more clarity on exactly, okay, what's weakness for me, what's strength for me, and that way you can, even if it differs from what's here, you can plug in something different, okay? So yeah, that's 4, so a 3. So that's the question. Do we want to do 3 per side, or the other meaning of the 3 would be 5 to 7? See, that seems like more of accessory to me.
I would say 3 per leg is more strength. And like
so
6 for each leg would probably be better, more accessory.
Yeah, so let's roll with that. So
4
by 3 per leg. So some fucking heavy lunges, y'all. Be a little bit different for you. All right. So now that's cool. So that's day 2. So day 3, strength day. So we just got 3 exercises here. So 3, 2, 5. So we'll probably just go tech, strength.
Sounds good.
I mean, technically, maybe you could call the tech a weakness, but it's really not a big deal because we'll do jerks. All right, so we'll do. We'll just kind of copy last week here. We'll do the jerk. We'll do front squats, and then we'll do the. We'll roll with the 2-inch deficit snatch deadlifts again. Heavy. Nice. Heavy jerks next week, y'all.
So front squat?
Yeah, front squat. See, some of y'all are complaining about having 2 weeks off. Here we are. Max out, baby.
No, too much, coach. Too
Take
much.
it out, coach, take it out.
And the last one was what?
2-inch deficit snatch deadlift. Heavy. We like them real heavy.
Deficit snatch deadlift.
There it is. Wrong hole. Okay, rest day. So you know what we really think.
Oh, God.
Accessory. So we got a 4-3-4. So we'll do, so we got 4 exercises. So we'll go ahead and we'll do a tech, weak, ack.
Oops, shit.
Whoa, buddy.
Come on, man.
Slow down.
Come on.
You got a pocket full of markers.
So many
Whatever
markers.
color you like, baby. What you need? I got that turquoise.
You got any lavender?
Got that white, bro.
Got that white. You said ack.
Weak.
Weak.
Tech, weak, ack.
Weak.
All right. So 4-3-4 down the board again. So it's a little bit of a heavier accessory day. We like to see it. Okay. So technique. So last week we did snatch from the hips. Let's just take a quick little look at where we're at here. So we did snatch balances. We did some power cleans. We did some jerks. We did clean jerks. We did some push presses. So we've had quite a bit of overhead. We've done some deadlifts. We've done some lunges. We did the power snatch from the high blocks because this week we're doing snatch from the hip. I kind of think let's maybe do like a little extra clean work. We'll kind of switch it up a little bit. Okay. We've had a lot of snatch work this current week we're on. Let's add in some additional clean work. I'm kind of thinking honestly just like some below the knee power or below the knee hang cleans. Just kind of get to. I feel like we haven't necessarily isolated the clean that much, so we can kind of do that.
Cleans always get neglected.
Yeah. Well, most people, it's like, you know, if it's the jerk that ends up being the limiting factor. You know, not everybody. Some people, some very fortunate people can just, as long as they can stand up with it. Although, you know, you could argue that that's like another kind of issue because then it's like you're just limited by how much you can clean. But most of our athletes don't have an issue cleaning it. Although a little ANFIT out there might be but you're getting it. I see you. You're getting it. But here we are. Okay, so below the knee power clean. And then weakness, we did a squat jerk. So if we're doing clean work already, maybe what if we just did, so we already did some power snatches. Last week we did squat jerks. You know what? What just my intuition, what comes to me, what if we did, and this will be a little bit fun too, and it'll be different enough from the test day. What if we did clean grip snatches? Oh, because that like really works on the, because you got to get under there.
Hey, Hope you guys are ready for that.
Come on now. Switch it up.
Grip, snatch.
I like it. I like it. Here we are.
But you know,
Yeah.
But this is I've never done that before. That sounds good.
Yeah. So it's a good I like having this format because it kind of gives us space to, especially when we have these longer days, we can kind of touch on some of these other things that, they're maybe not as specific, but you still know this is going to, like I said, a lot of people have trouble with that turnover. Clean grip snatch is a good way to improve that. All right. So, okay, accessory. So let's do maybe, I don't know, what initially just came to me is just some barbell overhead press. Just because I think a lot of us, just overall getting our overhead strength up and just that pressing strength, I've noticed does have quite a bit of good carryover to the jerk. Because for instance, if you can push press 140 kilos, then being able to jerk 140 kilos really shouldn't be that out of the question, even if your technique isn't the greatest. But if your push press is only, 70 kilos, then you trying to jerk 140 kilos, there might be a big, that might be very challenging, which is I think a lot of people tend to have that issue. And same thing with a strict press to a push press, where it's if you can just have more of that static strength, not only are you kind of just developing the overall stability and musculature, but ideally it'll have a nice carryover to the other things. So,
I like it.
There you see, you get the answer, and then you justify it with the logic later. That's how we roll. I mean, isn't that how most of us, make decisions?
Shoot first, ask questions later. So maybe overhead press.
Yep. We tend to decide emotionally and justify rationally.
There is no rationalization.
All right, and then a little bit of AC. So definitely need some conditioning. Let's do a little circuit here. We've got 4. Last week we did row. We did bounds and we did rows, and we did a little upper body circuit. We've already done plenty of lower body shit. Here.
I was gonna say, lower body, especially I lean towards lower body. I mean, just because running and stuff like that, because it's good conditioning. But again, we're gonna test the next day, so you don't want to bring your legs out too much. I'm thinking some sledgehammers. You know what I mean?
I like that.
You can even so you could do that, or even some kneeling med ball slams. So even save your legs even more. So down on the ground, just slamming on the, or maybe a
core work too. Yep.
Even the over the ground med ball presses onto the ground. So something some kind of a plyo explosive kind of upper body movement that's gonna have some conditioning aspect to it. So something with the med ball, so either slamming or a sledgehammer, something like that. What do you think
and I like that. And we haven't, if we're looking at, remember the primal movement patterns, we haven't really done any kind of twisting this week. So I like the sledgehammer because you're also getting some twisting in there as well as that conditioning effect.
Perfect.
And I mean, damn near, you're already going to have the tire there.
With that logic.
So so if we did sledgehammer, that gives us a little twisting. And then I almost want to say jumping, the jumps in and out of the tire. And then maybe we don't have to worry about the flip. So we got some plyometric in there. Perfect. We've got some upper body in there. And then maybe let's have something a little bit hypertrophy related that is, that's damn near just flip the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay. So sledgehammer, tire, jump in and out, and then flip the motherfucker. How y'all feel about that?
So we got tire, sledgehammer, in out jump.
Mm-hmm.
And then flip.
Okay. Cool. So let's see here. So there's a couple different ways we can break this down. So we've got 4, and we've got 3 exercises. So basically, technically, that would mean that we would just do 2 rounds of that. And if we were going on the rep range, a 3 would be 5 to 7, but that doesn't seem to make sense here. But we could do the time range, which a 3 would be, so let's see, a 1 would be 30 seconds or less, a 2 would be 30 seconds to a minute 30, a 3 would be a minute 30 to 3 minutes. So we only got 2 rounds, so what if we just did, I feel like a minute and a half would be plenty. So what if we did like 2 rounds, a minute and a half of each?
Okay. 2 rounds.
Tough.
That's tough. Oh God, minute and a half of all those?
Oh yeah.
Woo.
Minute and a half straight sledgehammer, minute and a half straight jumping in and out, minute and a half straight flipping the tires, and then you'll take, so let's see, a 3,
Each.
yeah, and then you go ahead and take, and you'll do 90 seconds of rest.
Okay. Slash
And 2 rounds.
rest. 2 rounds, 9 seconds each, slash rest.
Cool. All right. So just when we said we weren't going to fry you before the test day. Yeah, we don't want to tax them too much.
We weren't going to fry him. Let me just fry him anyway.
We said we weren't going to cook the eggs in the frying pan, but
Sorry,
they got
guys.
broken,
You are the
and they're
eggs.
in the pan.
You are the eggs. I'm sorry.
And the heat's on, baby. All right, test day. A little 2-1-5 action.
So we had tech as T, so I'll just do like TE.
Yeah, cool. I like it.
TE.
Yeah, fuck those 2 extra letters.
It's like so stupid. It's like a freaking the periodic table or something.
Telenium.
All right.
All right. And then, yeah, we already know. We already know.
Snatchaholics.
Snatchaholics mixtapes. Some C-Jizzies.
CGC sounds terrible. Oh.
Yeah, sorry if your name's CJ. So you know what I'm calling you. Oh, boy. Okay, there it is, y'all.
Beautiful.
Get you a pic.
Beautiful.
Well, here, we'll do it again. Just keep the tradition going. We're going to take a picture together. TJ's in it. I love it.
Hey.
So, yeah, take your own picture if you want.
This is a beautiful,
Yeah, here we go.
beautiful program.
Week 3. Here we are. Another hour plus video explaining next week. But yo, it's all here, bro. It's all here.
Very well getting out of week 1, right? Because we hit y'all with a big fat wad of like literally week 1. Like you're gonna make sure going into Saturday night you are taking care of your body. You're getting plenty of food, plenty of rest, get those fluids in you. Sunday, like I said, we really honestly coming into this Monday, you'll be like, ugh, but it's okay. Like your body adapts. Trust me, we've had countless Mondays you come in there and you're just like, ugh, but your body will adjust to it. It will grow, and that's again when the SAID principle is coming into it. Your body specific adaptation to the imposed demands. You like it'll be okay. Week 2, always a little challenging, but go into it with your mindset ready, and we'll get some work done. All right.
All right, y'all. It's been a pleasure. Have fun. The journey is the way.
Journey is the way.
Talk to you soon.